According to a new report from Politico, Republicans are starting to freak the hell out because they believe that they are in for a bloodbath in the 2024 Republican primaries, and not just with the Republican presidential candidates. According to this report from Politico, Republican insiders, which includes Republican lawmakers in Washington, D.C., are getting a little panicked because of everything that they see developing with the candidate selection for 2024, specifically with the Senate seats. So let me read you this to kind of give you a better explainer as to what's happening. Just a little background first. It's the Club for Growth, which is, of course, the far-right, fringe, anti-tax conservative group that is currently trying to pick their extremist candidates to run for Senate. So here's what Politico says. The conservative anti-tax group is once again at the center of an intra-party collision course. This time, it's going up against two of the most powerful people in the GOP, the former president and the Senate minority leader, right as the party is struggling to fix its electability problems and with control of the upper chamber on the line. A primary that was already destined to be brutal could end up bloody. The club is positioning itself against the National Republican Senatorial Committee in 3 states that are most key to retaking the majority: West Virginia, Montana, and Ohio. Privately, some top party operatives and McConnell-aligned strategists worry the club's recruits, who are typically conservative hardliners, could struggle to win competitive races. The fear is that, at best, the group is creating unnecessarily messy primaries. At worst, it is blowing another shot at retaking the majority. Even lawmakers keeping an open mind about how the club approaches the current cycle don't hide their concern over the group's past tactics. So what's happening is that Donald Trump has already been attacking the Club for Growth. He hates them. He calls them the Club for No Growth because that's the most creative insult he could come up with. I know it's weak. It's not his best work, but you know what? He tried. Dang it. Mitch McConnell doesn't like him because y'all are going to put up people that McConnell thinks can't win, kind of like Trump did with 2022 when we had people like Herschel Walker, Dr. Oz, and Blake Masters who got their butts kicked in the general election. So McConnell's mad at Club for Growth. Trump hates the Club for Growth. Club for Growth hates the National Republican Senatorial Committee. So you got these 3 different factions all fighting each other because McConnell hates Donald Trump. It's very soap opera-esque, right? Like, that's what we're looking at here. The whole Republican Party has become just the worst soap opera you could imagine because that's how petty and vindictive they are. But the Club for Growth says, screw it. We got money. We got donors. We're going to put up people. We're going to give them money and help them run. And that's going to hurt the Republican Party, especially if they do put up these individuals who go out there and say, let's cut taxes for corporations. Because Republicans know they got a problem with that. Even though they want to cut taxes for the wealthy and corporations even more than they already have, the 2017 tax cuts that Republicans pushed through kind of screwed them, right? It's the story of Icarus. You know, y'all were flying along just fine, doing tax cuts every time you got power and convincing the public that it was going to trickle down. But then you got a little too greedy. You flew a little too close to the sun, your wings melted, and suddenly even Republican voters started telling pollsters that the wealthy do not pay enough in taxes. And that's because y'all made these lofty promises, this is you flying too close to the sun, that you were going to get bonuses, that this was going to prevent jobs from being shipped out of the country. You were going to get a raise. And then as the next year approached, after the tax cuts went into effect, Republicans looked at their paychecks and said, we didn't get anything. And the Club for Growth, as I said, their big thing is let's cut taxes for the wealthy. And even Republican voters don't buy into that crap anymore. So if they put forward candidates who go out there and say, let's give the wealthy a tax break, even Republican voters are going to be like, that doesn't happen. It's not going to work. You're screwing us again. I'm not going to vote. To make matters worse, not only do we have these potentially bloody, as Politico put it, Senate primaries, we got a presidential race right now on the Republican side with all of these candidates, including some who aren't even declared, like Ron DeSantis, attacking each other in ads. like at each other's throats all day long. So what's going to happen is that these candidates, Donald Trump, Nikki Haley, Asa Hutchinson, Ron DeSantis, whoever else throws their names into the hat, throws their names into the ring, Tim Scott, they're going to bloody each other up. They're going to smear each other. They're going to attack each other. And that's going to hurt Republicans overall. And it's going to turn off some of their own voters because their person is not going to win. And they're still going to hold a grudge against the other Republican who does win. So they may not show up to vote. So we already have possible disenfranchisement of Republican voters in the general election for the presidential race. That then trickles down to those Senate races. And if the Senate primaries become just as brutal and bloody, again, as Politico puts it, as the presidential race, you're going to end up with the same scenario. So it's not just going to hurt Republicans' chances of taking back the Senate. It is going to hurt their chances of taking the White House, could hurt their chances of retaining the House. And I got to tell you, I love every second of it. And I hope to God that that is what happens next year. Hey, everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel? We also encourage you to like, comment, and share. But again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.